What's going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. I apologize for being away for almost the entire month. I don't know, something, I just wasn't feeling up to recording podcasts and all that stuff here. And I was feeling under the weather for I believe it was a week or so ago. I just, wasn't into... I watched the shows, I enjoyed the shows, but I wasn't into, watching or reviewing anything. Also, I've been doing my own G1 Climax stuff here, which finally finished up the recording process of the main stuff here. Now I gotta do commentary and all that stuff here. Hopefully that gets taken care of soon. But I'm back because it is the final week before Stardom has their big WrestleMania show, Dream Queendom 3, which we'll go over that card on Saturday or on Sunday's podcast. We also have I believe it's the full card for New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom. We'll have some breaking news that just actually broke as I was getting ready to record this stuff here. But this is your SmackDown review for December the 22nd, 2023. The taped episode, the holiday episode of SmackDown. Everyone is at home, being with their families, home for the holidays. We've seen things happen on this show. Before we get to the big news, I'm going to mention some of the big things that happened on this show here. We've seen basically the confirmation of the Authors of Pain going to Friday Night SmackDown, joining Karrion Kross. Great matches throughout the show had some great wrestling on it. Kairi Sane has an issue with Shotzi's neck by decapitating it again, which was hilarious, and all the other stuff here. First, before you do that, hit that like button, comment down below, hit that subscribe button on youtube.com/Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Then you can go to the Twitter machine, Pile Driver Pulse, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram. You can follow our Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, rather. Or you can just type in the name, it'll still come up. The audio outlets, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Audible, and Pandora. I've joined the block list of Stardom, unfortunately. Sonny is a piece of crap, apparently, because he cannot handle criticism or suggestions. So fuck him. So let's get into this New Japan Pro Wrestling news. This news broke about what was it? So the news actually broke 2 hours ago. As soon as SmackDown went off the air here, and you've seen the thumbnail, it kind of almost looks like Tanahashi was signed by WWE. That's not the case here. New Japan broke the news late Friday night over here in the States. Rather, it's late Friday night here. Well, it's now the 23rd. So here is what the press release. I'm going to read this straight from New Japan Pro Wrestling English website. So here is this. After a meeting of New Japan Pro Wrestling's board of directors and shareholders today, December 23rd, 2023, the following personal change has been made in company management. Reason for personal change is listed: altercations to management structure, newly appointed officials. This is where it gets interesting here. So I'm going to read. I'm going to save the big stuff for the last introduction here. So effective immediately, December 23rd, obviously, the previous president and representative director of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Takami, Ohbari, and Nishizawa. I'm not going to even try to pronounce their names here. avoid it because I'm not very good at Japanese, will step down from the positions as president and representative director and director, respectively. New director is the current chief of business productions of TV, Aishi, which is the Japanese network television that airs New Japan Pro Wrestling. His name is Hitoshi Matsumoto. Director, which is the current president and CEO of Bushi Fight. I believe the new new CEO and president, I believe. Mr. Okada, his name is Taro Okada. Mr. Okada's position is only part-time basis. Now here is where the big news happened here. The new person in charge of New Japan Pro Wrestling is now is president and representative director, former multi-time, I believe he's let me see if I can find his championship accomplishments here so I can have this here. The 8-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, 2-time Intercontinental Champion, 3-time United States Champion, 3-time IWGP Tag Team Champion, 1-time Never Openweight Champion, 3-time winner of the G1 Climax, and 1/3 of the current IW Never Openweight 6-man tag team titles, along with Kazuchika Okada and Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yes, you heard me correctly. Hiroshi Tanahashi is the new president and representative director of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tanahashi, of course, was born on November 13th, 1976 in Ogaki City, Gifu. After graduating in law, at the university that he was in, which I don't know how long ago that was, but that was news to me there. Tanahashi joined New Japan in 1999, debuted that October. He won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship for the first time, for the first of his 8 times in 2006. Achievements along with the 4-time wrestling in Pro Wrestling MVP status, which that led him to be called the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Press conference here. They said there will be a press conference on December the 26th, the day after Christmas, at 1 p.m. Japan Standard Time, concerning the changes made above. So we're going to find that out here. Messages of the fans here. Thank you for your ongoing support of New Japan Pro Wrestling. On January 4th, New Japan will present Wrestle Kingdom 18 from the Tokyo Dome. Hiroshi Tanahashi will address the fans directly in his new role as president. New Japan looks forward to your continued support under the new leadership. So, yeah, huge news there for New Japan fans. A lot of things is about to change in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This could also influence. Sorry, let me get a drink here. This might influence the I guess the status, or what the decision rather, for Kazuchika Okada, who at the time was believed to be leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling, but now that is up in the air because we don't know what's going to happen here. What will this mean with the AEW partnership? What will this mean for the partnership with Stardom? Like, will Stardom be a part of that? We'll talk about all of that because some news is going to be dropping, hopefully, about this whole stuff tomorrow. And I will talk about it on Sunday's show. But we'll let you know. So we'll see about that here. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about to open the show here on this. Before we get into the main course of the video, or the review. Just get that out of the way because that was stuff that happened as well, which is, it's just interesting. We're going to find out. We're going to find out what's going to happen here. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it's a good thing for New Japan, because see, my first thing is, one of my first acts as president is taking the pencil away from Gato, because if Gato books Sonata to go over Naito at the Tokyo Dome, we're gonna have problems. That's when Gato should be revoked of his booking license. That's just me. Anyways, now let's talk about. Let's talk about SmackDown. A lot of things have been happening on SmackDown lately that I haven't been able to talk about. Randy Orton is now on Friday Night SmackDown. He has joined the SmackDown brand after his return to the show. CM Punk was on. I believe, was CM Punk on the last show that I did? That I covered? I don't even know. Let me find out. Let me find out here. I don't even know. Actually, I didn't at all. So I've missed quite a few stuff here. So SmackDown. So we're going to talk about it, I guess. We're going to talk about all that stuff here. I'm not even going to talk about what's leading up here, but we do know that know where CM Punk is at. He's on Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about CM Punk and all that stuff on Sunday's podcast. And I'll leave everything up to what I want to talk about on Sundays when it comes to the rest of the wrestling stuff here. So, but the show opened with AJ Styles, who came back last week looking more like Lone Wolf. AJ Styles, the loner that he was doing in TNA, the Evil Ways version of AJ Styles. He came out here and says Orton and LA Knight both want matches with Roman Reigns. Says he doesn't blame either one of them, but he doesn't give a damn about what they want. Says he's the number one. He's number one when it comes to getting his hands on Roman Reigns, and he wants to do so at the Royal Rumble. LA Knight comes out. Says he's not here to argue with Styles about who gets their match with Roman first. Then he says he can have Reigns once he gets him first. Talking about LA Knight getting him first, telling AJ that he can get him after that. He says the first person on his list last week is AJ Styles, and he reminds him that he faced Roman twice before. Or Styles reminded him, rather. Says that he'll drop him or anyone who gets in his way. Orton comes out, says that he appreciates that he can appreciate the issues both Styles and Knight have with Roman and the Bloodline, but Roman put me on the shelf for 18 months. It says while he's happy to be home, he missed his second home, which was being in the ring, and nothing will get in his way from getting what his hands on Roman and the Bloodline. LA Knight cuts him off and says, all three of them have been talking about been taken out, about all three of them have been taken out by the Bloodline. Says no one remembers that he's included in the group, which doesn't really make whatever. Nick Aldis comes out and says all three have legit claims to face Roman Reigns. It says in 2 weeks on the New Year's Revolution episode of SmackDown on January the 5th, one day after Wrestle Kingdom, which I speaking of January the 4th, I do have some news about my own podcast that I want to talk about, which I'm going to talk about at the end of the show here. So bear with me here, because it is up on the Twitter. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. So it'll be Randy Orton, LA Knight, And AJ Styles, the winner of that match, will go on to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. So that's one of the things I like about what Triple H is doing right now is no one's being handed championship matches anymore. People are earning championship matches. Well, maybe CM Punk. CM Punk will most likely win his championship match by winning the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes is probably going to have to earn his shot in the Elimination Chamber. Bayley is probably going to win the Royal Rumble to get her shot with IYO SKY, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. I have some interesting thoughts about that. But yeah, I like what they're doing here. Pretty good stuff here. We have an 8-woman tag team Holiday Havoc match. Basically, no disqualification match here. It was Bianca Belair, Shotzi, Zelina Vega, and Mia Yim. 2 people who have not been on television in months. Oh, okay, all right. One person there who hasn't had a match in over, I don't know how long. It feels like it's been forever. Against Damage Control with with Dakota in the corner there. So this is all over the place here. I'm not even like, okay, so one point here. So Kyrie actually decided to do the spot that she did at Survivor Series, the trash can lid, back fist into the neck of Shotzi, which was hilarious. So I'm gonna go towards the end of the match. This match is great though. I enjoyed this. IYO SKY having a great match. I mean, come on, like that's at that point when you start saying this every week, it's like, well, it's a given. This woman is incapable of having a bad match, because if she starts having bad matches, something is wrong. Anywho, so Asuka and Kairi Sane are out on the outside of the ring here. Kairi, I believe, is opening this box or something. Out pops Isla Dawn. Or was it Isla Dawn? Or was it? No, I think it was. It was Isla Dawn. And Kairi and Asuka are like, what the fuck's going on here? Alba Fire, Kaylee Ray pops out the other one, grabs one of them for something or other, and Isla Dawn hit their finisher on both Asuka and Kairi on the outside here. Back in the ring here, which sets up, which I have thoughts on that in just a little bit, and I'll talk about here. Back in the ring, Bayley sets up for the Bayley to belly. Bianca lands on her feet, hits the KOD. IYO catches her with the over the moonsault, walks into an eat to feet from Michin. Michin goes to the top rope and hits a senton or leg drop. It looked like it was one, to me. It was a senton for the win. 1, 2, 3 gets the win, and she has, by pinning the champion, which this is one of those Vince McMahon things in which Triple H would get away from. IYO SKY will be defending her championship on that same New Year's Revolution show against Michin. Say that so she can have something to do before she gets to Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble, which I again will talk about here in a second here. Asuka and Kairi Sane, they returned last week as the Kabuki Wars. They came up with their banger of a theme, one of the rare W's of Death Roll. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter just won the NXT, the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on Raw, which Raw was an alright episode, by the way. I'll talk about Raw more in depth when I get to the show on Sunday. But so Katana Chance and Kaden Carter just won the tag titles. I know people are celebrating that they won the tag titles. We got set things down to reality here, because it's about time to set down to reality here, right? So and this is just me saying this outside of this is just me saying this right here and then, right? So They only put the tag team titles on Caden Carter and Katan Chance not to give them a push. That's not what's being set up here. Okay? You are dumb and fools to believe that this is what's going to happen here. I don't know. Maybe they do this match at the Royal Rumble. Maybe they do this match in Australia. They might do it on SmackDown. They might send them over to Raw. However, the Kabuki Warriors are going to win the tag team titles off of Katan Chance and Caden Carter. It was the only reason they put the titles on them, so the Kabuki Warriors could have a babyface team to take the titles off of. Well, I think it's going to happen now because it feels like they, I guess, randomly turned the spooky witches. I don't know if they have the unholy union or whatever they call themselves. I guess they are now baby faces. I'm not sure, but I think either on the 5th, the big show on the New Year's Revolution show, they either do a number one contenders match there between Alba Fire and Isla Dawn taking on the Kabuki Warriors. Either way, that match is going to be a number one contenders match, and that match is going to be who we find out faces Katan Chance and Karrion Kross for tag titles. And then that's where Kabuki Warriors are going to win the tag team titles back because they kind of set that up on SmackDown last week that the Kabuki Warriors are going to win the tag titles. Another thing they set up here, I pretty much blatantly told you, by the way, my condolences, and I do wish a speedy recovery to Charlotte Flair. I don't care for her as a wrestler, okay? Y'all know how I am. I'm not a fan of her wrestling matches most of the time. Okay, look, because they always put her constantly in the title match, right? Anyways, it was revealed on SmackDown last week that she's going to be out for 9 months. It was confirmed by PWW Insider that she tore her ACL, MCL, and meniscus, and she will be gone for the majority of 2024. So she will miss WrestleMania, she will miss the Royal Rumble, she will miss SummerSlam, and the two big and the three big shows overseas: Elimination Chamber, Backlash, and the Berlin show. But last week on SmackDown, and I wish I had got a chance to talk about this promo because this promo told me a lot of things here. Bayley announced that she was getting herself into the 2024 Royal Rumble match. Just fine, makes sense. However, what a lot of people didn't notice or didn't catch rather, which I think they should have catch, which they probably didn't really catch, but Bayley said that when I win the Royal Rumble, I'm going to challenge Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Well, that's a lie. Not her winning the Rumble, her challenging Rhea Ripley. See, what's going to happen here is they basically told you straight to your face without actually telling you that A, Bayley is winning the Royal Rumble, and B, the match at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship is Bayley versus IYO SKY. That is the right decision. I'm sorry to tell you this. The 4 title matches at WrestleMania for the women and the men, whether people like it or not, is Roman versus Cody, Punk versus Rollins, Rhea versus Becky, and IYO versus Bayley. Bayley is most likely, probably winning the title from IYO, which I'm not against. Originally, I was like, I wanted Kairi to be the reason I thought she was coming in being Kairi going to be going up against IYO at WrestleMania. That's not going to happen, obviously, because I think the Kabuki Warriors are probably going to go into WrestleMania as the tag team champions. Which is very interesting because they were the first female faction in WWE to go into WrestleMania as champions, which is awesome, by the way. But again, I'm perfectly fine with Bayley being the person to beat IYO SKY if, and this is a big if, Bayley becomes one of the top babyface on the women's division like she was in NXT. If we can get that type of, I guess, love from Bayley back from the fans or something along those lines, that's all I know here. So, but that's what I think is going to happen. It's just a hunch. Under no circumstance, Triple H, and I know you're listening to these podcasts because I just know you are. Under no circumstances should the following things take place at the Royal Rumble, right? Bianca Belair should not be beating IYO SKY at the Royal Rumble, and I'll talk about the stipulations I have in place for that idea in just a second. Liv Morgan should not be winning the Royal Rumble, nor should she be winning the Elimination Chamber to get a shot at a title she does not deserve at this moment in time for being out most of the majority of the year, injured. Okay? Because I'm sorry to tell people this, Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley is a much bigger match, much bigger WrestleMania match than Becky Lynch than Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. You can do Rhea versus Liv on the Australia show because you know Rhea is going to go over on the Australia show. You don't know for a fact that Rhea Ripley is going over Becky at all at WrestleMania. You can't really assume that. Another thing, Jade Cargill, I'm perfectly fine with her being in the Royal Rumble. Give her the Diesel spot. Give her the Kane spot, or whatever you want to call it. Give her the Diesel spot. Give her the what the hell is the other wrestler's name? I just say give her the Diesel spot. Have her come in at number what year? What year was it the Diesel entered the Royal? Was it 94? Wasn't that the 94 Royal Rumble? I believe that's what it was. Diesel came in at 9, at 7, and have her come in at 7, eliminate 7 people, and then have the person she's going to be wrestling at WrestleMania eliminate her. She does not need to be winning the Royal Rumble. Bayley should eliminate the following people from the Royal Rumble: Asuka, Kairi. That's basically it, because I don't fully believe Dakota is going to be healed in time for the Royal Rumble, unfortunately. So that is my prediction on that. That's why I think should happen there. The IYO Bianca match, which I think is going to be taking place at the Royal Rumble, is very simple. You do the match, IYO defending against Bianca Belair. The stipulation should be if Bianca Belair loses, she can never challenge for the championship again as long as IYO SKY is the champion. That would force them to try to do something else with Bianca that does not involve her being in the main title program. Becky Lynch has actually benefited, even though she was doing the stuff with the NXT Women's title, she still wasn't in the main title program on Raw. And she benefited from it. So that's one thing I want people to take note of there. Backstage, we have Jimmy Uso hyping up Solo Sikoa's match against AJ Styles. Roman asked Paul Heyman to bring Nick Aldis to him. Then we had an awesome match between Pete Dunne and Dragon Lee for the NXT North American Championship. This match was awesome. One point, Pete Dunne delivers stomps to Dragon Lee's triceps. Dragon Lee responds with a Hurricane Rana off the top rope, or off the ring apron onto the outside. Gets Pete Dunne back in the ring, delivers a super kick in the corner. Pete Dunne then delivers lands a power bomb. Pair of exchanges chops exchange one another. Pete Dunne rocks Lee with an enziguri. Then they go up for snap German suplex. They did the spot from Survivor Series a few years ago with Adam Cole. This time with the Dragon Lee. Pete Dunne was getting ready to hit the bitter end, but a sweet reversal into the Canadian Destroyer for almost for the win here. But then follows it up with the Operation Dragon for the win, and Dragon Lee retains the NXT North American Championship. Great match. Great match. Dragon Lee, they're doing so far. Triple H is doing an excellent job with Dragon Lee on the main roster, and the people they keep looking for their next Rey Mysterio. A lot of people thought it was going to be Santos Escobar. You're looking at the next Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee right here. So him getting more exposure on the main roster, him getting over on the main roster, you love to see it. Then we have, after the match, they shake up their hands here. Kevin Owens gets down to the ring. He's getting ready for his match, his semifinals match with Carmelo Hayes. Before that, we head backstage to Roman Reigns, who's talking to Aldis. Reigns expresses frustration for not being consulted by Nick Aldis in regards to the number one contenders triple threat match, and so it goes solo's match with AJ Styles. Basically, Nick Aldis says, "I don't give a shit what you have to say. I'm in charge now." And says Solo Sikoa, and Solo would be fine considering he beat up John Cena in the past. So I already love this version of. I already love this better than whatever they tried to do with Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce is just like didn't grow his head. Nick Aldis is growing his head, and it's great. What was also great is Carmelo Hayes' short stint on SmackDown. He lost, of course, to Kevin Owens here. But it was fine. It was a great match, though. Nonetheless, Owens delivered a DDT off the ropes to Carmelo. Hayes delivers a boot to Carmelo into the midsection of Carmelo, follows up with a pair of chops and a clothesline, sets that up with a pop-up powerbomb. Carmelo Hayes counters into a code breaker, which looked nice, by the way. I love a powerbomb spot that's reversed into a code breaker. It's a great idea for a spot there. Looks for nothing but net. Owens avoids it, hits the second pop-up powerbomb, followed up by a swanton bomb and a stunner for the win. Kevin Owens advances to the finals. Helps up Carmelo Hayes. They get a respect there. By the way, it was announced that the winner of this tournament will go on to face Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. Again, people earning championship matches instead of people being gifted championship matches. And one of the things I like about Triple H's era of WWE, so much better than what the fuck, what's his name? Mr. AEW himself does it. Though there was some solid wrestling on Dynamite this week, which I can't wait to talk about, because I haven't even got a chance to talk about the Continental Classic yet. Which I've been loving the Continental Classic, by the way. It's their version of the G1 Climax. So I did my own G1 Climax. That shit was hard. I'm probably going to neuter it a little bit next year when I want to do another G1 Climax, where instead of 12 people, I'm just going to do 8 people for you. 8 people a block. 8 people hold in the full tournament. 4 blocks. 4 people in each block. I'm just going to keep it like that, so it's more shorter that way. But the OC approaches AJ Styles, questions why weren't they given the heads up that he was coming back. Anderson asks if they're good. Styles simply repeats the question back on him and said, "Are we good?" Then we got the final semi-final match for the United States Championship Tournament. Santos Escobar defeated Bobby Lashley via distraction, which of course it happens, because while this match is going on, two masked figures in lucha masks came down here and started attacking the Street Profits, which allowed the door to open up for Santos Escobar to roll up Lashley for the win. After the match, it was revealed to be Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. So there's another faction being added to the SmackDown brand, which we're not even done here. And Triple H is rebuilding this dead tag team division that Vince did not give a shit about. I could be wrong, but this is just a hunch. This is me, speculating, but I hear Triple H is a fan of tag team wrestling. So am I. Now, we did actually have an interesting video package from Karrion Kross earlier. I don't really know what was said verbatim, but if I can find the actual promo. Let's see. Can we? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can find the actual wording of the promo here. I don't know. I don't know what I don't have the actual word for word promo in here, but basically talking about this book being rewritten and whatnot, and saying something about authors, and then there was a shot of the authors of Pain in the back here. So it is basically 100% confirmed here at this point that Karrion Kross is going to start his own faction with the authors of Pain and Paul Ellering, which I love. The idea of, I love seeing the authors of Pain back. I actually love seeing Paul Ellering back more than I do than all this. I'm not hyped about it because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot with this again, because I fell for this trap with Karrion Kross not once but twice. And I'm not doing it again because I did that when he came up to the main roster the first time, when he got fired, and then we came back. I was like, yes, in the main event, going to go try to do something with him, and then he just disappeared for months. So hopefully there is a plan here with Kross in 2024. It seems like there's a plan for him. Hope so. Also, this kind of kills the whole narrative that Paul Ellering did not want to travel with the main roster, because if that was the case, he would not be on SmackDown with the rest of the authors of Pain. I'm just saying. So then we go to the back here. Pete Dunne is asked about his loss to Dragon Lee. But Pretty Deadly tried to mock Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne's like, enough of this shit, and just starts beating the shit out of them. Security tries to pull all of them apart here. Nick Aldis tells Pete Dunne that he can have Pretty Deadly at New Year's Revolution if he can find himself a tag team partner. Gee, I wonder what dude on the main roster, or not on the main roster, in WWE, has so much history with Pete Dunne, maybe down in NXT. Tyler Bates getting called up to the main roster. I'm just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there. Next up, main event, AJ Styles, Solo Sikoa. This match was not very good. I love AJ Styles, but Solo Sikoa is just terrible. I just find him boring here. This match didn't matter because the match ended in a disqualification interference. Roman Reigns came out, caused the disqualification. Solo Sikoa AJ Styles basically gets the win here because of the disqualification. Yeah. Oh, see, now Roman Reigns is getting involved in other people's matches. But after the match here, Reigns gets Styles up on his shoulders. Styles escapes, hits into Gary. Solo then starts attacking Styles, joining in on Roman. Randy Orton comes down to the ring to provide help. That ain't a lot of fun because then Jimmy Uso, who is the most useless member of the fucking bloodline at this point here, another thing here. LA Knight comes out here. He tries to even the odds here. And after the match here, or after all this happened here, basically I just said didn't need any of your guys' help. I told you guys to stay the fuck out of my match, and you didn't. Well, I mean, technically they were out of the. Technically, they didn't get involved in the match at all. It was after the fact. And then they start brawling when SmackDown goes off the air. So, as a holiday episode for Friday Night SmackDown, and as a taped episode for SmackDown, it was actually an enjoyable show. It's not bad for a taped episode here. Again, you have the big news with New Japan Pro Wrestling. The whole signing of or not the signing, the what's the word? Like the board of directors shifting stuff here with Tanahashi now becoming the president of New Japan. What this means for the future relationship with AEW, because if I'm being completely honest, the relationship has been one-sided since the very beginning. Will this impact the decision for Okada to remain in New Japan Pro Wrestling? Will this also impact the decision for Julia when it comes to Bushi Road? Because I still believe and is under the assumption that she is leaving when her contract expires next year. But that's for our talk on the Sunday show. I said I had some other news I wanted to talk about. It had nothing to do with the actual shows that we went on here tonight. If you go to youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast, or not, no, YouTube, that's the YouTube thing. If you go to twitter.com/PiledDriverPulse, or go there at PiledDriverPulse, you can see the pinned tweet that I have up here it is that time of year again. The 2023 Misfit Wrestling Podcast Year-End Awards. The voting has been up since December the 12th. That poll closes next weekend. Though I may leave it up depending on how much votes get put in there. I may leave it up a little bit longer. That depends on all that stuff here. But right now, it is up. You can vote for the following categories. You can vote for Match of the Year, which the only match from 2022 that actually is on this list is the Shuri Julia match from last year's Dream Queendom. And will Maika Suzuki make it next year? I hope so. I'm worried that the Hat Man is going to screw us over here. You have that there. There's a ton of matches here, a bunch of women's matches on here, a bunch of tag matches, a lot of great matches that made the list of the 2024 or 2023 match of the year candidates here. Get the worst match of the year on there. Quite a few there. Not faction of the year, feud of the year. You can vote for that here. You can also vote for worst feud of the year, which is not a big one. Overall wrestler, which is both male and female. Male wrestler of the year. Women's wrestler of the year. You can also vote for most improved wrestler of the year. Worst booked wrestler of the year, which I can tell who's going to win that one already. Tag team or / faction of the year. Most hated wrestler / faction of the year that could be, whether it's legit hatred for the person or kayfabe hatred for the person. People. Show of the year. It was originally labeled as pay-per-view of the year, but who knows? But there is a show of the year there. Return of the year. Shocking moment of the year, which is there's a lot of things that happen when it comes to shocking moments of 2023. Booker of the year, which is the new category that was added might be 2 weeks before I set this out here, and the promotion of the year. But you can vote for that. I'm actually gonna put that in the description, not in the description. It might be at the comment section. I'm gonna put it in the comment section and the description as well, so you can see it there. And then if you go to the YouTube, the Twitter, I'm actually gonna put it in the community tabs on YouTube as well. But I'm also gonna put it in the. But it is pinned right at the top of the Twitter, right there, and I will reveal the winners of said year-end awards when we get to that on the. It will not be. I can tell you right now, if I do end up closing the poll on the 5th, because I'm gonna wait until a couple hours to close it. That weekend's show, that Sunday show is going to be dedicated mostly to it's either going to be the Saturday or the Sunday, where that will be dedicated to the year-end awards. Other than that, I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm actually happy to be back on here. I miss talking wrestling with you guys here, giving my thoughts and opinions on everything wrestling related here. Next week, Matt boy, next week is a big week we have. And let me go to that card here. We got a lot of things coming up. There's a New Blood show, which I'm not 100% sure it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be streamed or not. Let me look here. I'm actually going to go. Well, first I'm going to go click this here. So the New Blood show is going to happen on Christmas, December 25th. We have Mai Sakurai. We'll take on Hanan, Mai Sakurai, and Chanyota. That whole issue was resolved. There's a lot of things that was being those weird things happening here. Mai Sakurai got her fingers dirty and says, we're going to have this woman on our show. They're going to take on Oedo Tai as Rina and Aruka. Haruka Umezaki will be teaming with Miyu Amazaki, Kevin, as people like to call her, against Yuzuki and Hanako. Tag match. Shuri will be taking on Reina Yamagumi. This is one of the newer Stardom rookies here. Saya Kamitani will have her first singles match since the 5-star Grand Prix with Tam Nakano against Sayaka Kuroda. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. And then we have Lady C and Ami Sakurai. Lady C's Queen's Quest and God's Eyes Ami Sakurai challenging for the New Blood Championship tag team titles against Saida and Hanan. I believe Yuzuki is going to be on the. I believe Yuzuki was booked for the Dream Kingdom show, and I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me look here. I don't have. Oh, here we go. So all right. Let's see. I think. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see if I can find it here. Give me a second. Oh, here we go. And I will put that up here as well. We actually have the return of Saki Kashima. So here is the current card as it stands for Stardom's Dream Kingdom on December 29th. Next was that next Thursday? Yeah, no, next Friday. I don't know how I'm gonna review that show. That's gonna be tough, but I'll figure it out here. A match that was just added about actually it was added on Sunday, on this past Sunday. It's gonna be Miyu Amazaki, Azuba Anaba. Sorry if I again pronounced that name. Yuzuki will take on Hanako, Rina Yamagumi, and Sayaka Kairuru. Sorry if I butchered that name there as well. And then the other matches on the show. We have a four-way tag team match here. Hinon and Lady C of Queen's Quest will take on Mai Sakurai and Thekla of the Bummy of DDM. Cosmic Angels' Yuna Minazori and Saki will take on God's Eyes Ami Shirai and the returning Saki Kashima. Well, she's already returned, but her first pay-per-view match is going to be on that show. A 6-woman tag team match. Asami will be teaming with Nanane Takahashi and Yu of 7-Up for some reason to take on Shuri, Mina Shirakawa, and Mai Sarai. 8-woman tag team match here. We got Maya Iwatani, Hanan, Hazuki, and Saida of Stars will take on Oedo Tai's Starlight Kid, Ruka, Rina, and Fukujin Death. This is the Starlight Kid on the show doing something important here. Then the big matches here. We have Aphrodite. We will be defending their Goddess of Stardom tag titles, which is Utami Hayashida and Saya Kamatani. They'll be taking on XL of Oedo Tai, Natsuko Toro, and Momo Watanabe. I don't know if I'll do my predictions for that. I'm going to do my predictions for that on Sunday, so don't worry about that. Julia will be defending the Strong Championship against Megan Bain. This is most likely Megan Bain's last match in Stardom before she heads back to AEW. So who knows there. Mirai will defend the Wonder at Stardom Championship in a rematch against Sariano, because if you guys remember, back in when was it? Back in November last month, Sariano and Mirai went to a time limit draw, and now they're going to run this match back again. This time for the white belt, and hopefully Sariano comes out on top here. And then the main event of the show, to crown a brand new World of Stardom champion, Suzu Suzuki will take on Maika. I pray to whatever God that exists in Stardom that Maika. This is a must-win for Maika. If I'm being completely honest here, it's a must-win for Maika. That's just me. And then we have the other show that's going to be happening, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom. I'm actually going to go through that. I'm actually going to go straight through that card as well. You got the New Stars show, which is going to happen the day before Wrestle Kingdom. And you get the Stardom Gate show, which is going to have Mayu Iwatani defending the IWGP Championship against somebody who I have no idea. But here is the current card for Wrestle Kingdom 18. This is going to be the first Wrestle Kingdom 18 show under the leadership of Hiroshi Tanahashi, which is hilarious. He's going to be wrestling on this show. Shingo Takagi will be defending the Never Openweight Championship against Tamatanga. This is probably the worst match that they could have done with Shingo Takagi. Before, by the way, a speedy recovery to Kenny Omega. This should have been, before we found out what was going on with Kenny, to me, the match should have been Shingo and Kenny, but, what can you do? You know what? If Shibata is currently dealing with some visa issues that he can't go back to the AEW right now, give me Shingo Takagi and Tamatanga. Or here's a bright idea, New Japan and AEW, if you're listening. Just send Malachi Black to New Japan and have a banger of a match with Shingo Takagi or something. Come on. Tamatanga, really? We just did this match at the last show that they did. The show, the Philadelphia show. What the fuck was that show called? What the hell was the name of that show? I know Julia defeated Hanan on that show, and then Hayan. Oh god. Well, anyways, we just did this match. I don't want to see this match anymore. It's the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, or no, it's not the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's Hiromu Takahashi will defend the junior heavyweight championship against El Desperado. Hopefully, Desperado gets the win here because I believe the story is that Hiroshi Tanahashi or El Desperado has never actually beaten Takahashi for the title. Or at least never beat him at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't. That's one. I think that's the story. I don't know. Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney will defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles against Catch 1-2, TJP, and Francesco Akira. Bushiman, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi will defend the IWGP Tag Team titles in the winner takes all match against the Gorillas of Destiny, Hikuleo and El Phantasmo for the strong openweight championships, which I didn't know they actually had until just reading this here. Zack Sabre Jr. will defend the World Television Championship against the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's weird to say out loud. Hiroshi Tanahashi. Will Ospreay will, I guess, defend, sort of, the IWGP United Kingdom title against Jon Moxley and David Finlay. Man, if Gato books David Finlay to go over Ospreay and Moxley, we're going to have problems there. Bryan Danielson will get his rematch with Kazuchika Okada, which hopefully this is, I'm hoping this is going to be better than their Forbidden Door match. That's my belief, because I know Okada likes to phone it in when he goes to America, or when he goes to do the AEW shows. But New Japan Okada, when he's on his game and he's in the Tokyo Dome, motherfucker don't miss. And then hopefully the main event of the show, because I'm like Naito, I don't trust this company. Because Naito even says this isn't the main event until they go on last, or until it happens. Sonata will defend the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against the winner of the G1 Climax, Tetsuya Naito. And I hope to God this is when Naito finishes the story. We're going into a week from December 29th to January 4th, Friday, December 29th to Thursday, January 4th, where both New Japan and Stardom have their Cody Rhodes finishing the story moments happening with Micah and I'm gonna say Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tetsuya Naito. So that's what I'm hoping happens. But those are the current cards as it stands for those shows. I'm looking forward to both shows as of right now, because I don't know what the future of New Japan is going to look like, because that's I don't know what the fuck's going to happen there, but I'm very interested to see where this goes on that. But but as of right now, I'm more interested in looking forward to Stardom Dream Queendom. Regardless if I'm blocked on Twitter by them or not, I'm going to review the show because I still love Stardom. I don't agree with all the other things they do, but who knows? Who knows? Mercedes Moné might pop up on this show and then challenge Julia for the strong. I'm still predicting that match is going to happen before either one of them goes back to WWE. So that's what I have to say here. Other than that, I don't have anything else to add here. I will see you guys back here on Sunday for the other stuff where I go over a lot of stuff that I missed for Raw. I watched Raw, but I didn't get to talk about it. My thoughts and opinions on the Continental Classic, who I think should win the Continental Classic, because there's a very interesting statistic here. Or not there is there, but there's also a very interesting loophole that can be played here with a certain switchblade, and I'll talk about that on Sunday. Of course, I will also talk about whatever breaks tomorrow, because there is some news about what's listed here as, Some very interesting executive news is going to drop on Saturday. Don't know what it is here. I haven't been told. I've been trying to figure that out. I've been trying asking around. I've been told. All I've been told is it's going to be a talking point tomorrow. We'll find, and I'm assuming it's Bushiroad related. I don't know if it's good or bad, but we're going to find out, and I'll talk about that on Sunday, as well as the CM Punk stuff. So, what's his schedule going to look like going into the Royal Rumble and beyond? I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Until then, we're out.